Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from NFL playoffs to pro and college basketball, UFC, MMA, and much more. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. With live betting options, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. BetOnline is truly the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV to receive your rewards. BetOnline.AG, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother Teja Dash. Guys, before we came on, YouTube gave me a reminder that today is the 1 year anniversary of Bleav In 76ers podcast.
Oh, cool. That? Nice, man.
Yeah. March 10th.
There you go.
68 episode or 68th episode. That's crazy. A whole year, man. That's nuts. I gotta say, just to, doing this podcast with you guys, it's been awesome. Obviously, Eric, Teja, and I grew up watching you and being able to talk sports, talk family, talk everything with you every week. It's been really special, man.
Can't enjoy it. Having fun, man.
Yeah,
you all do all the work.
To another year.
Another year, yeah. Here's to another one. So obviously, not much has really happened since our last show. We dominated the Minnesota Timberwolves, and now we're going to kind of get into some of the stuff leading into this weekend. And so, yeah, for our first thing, last time we talked about the defense looking kind of rough. I think we averaged about 135, gave up 135 points a game. And ironically, we started out the road trip holding Miami Heat to under 100 points, and then we ended the road trip holding the Timberwolves to under 100. So one of those games missing Harden, and one of those games missing Embiid. In fact, we've held our opponents to under 100 points 12 times this season and are 11-1. But the crazy thing about that stat is that out of those 12 games, we were missing either Embiid or Harden in 7 of those games, going 7-0 in each time we missed one of those guys. So my question to you guys is, why are we a better defensive team when we're down one of our stars?
I don't really know. I don't think you can point at one thing. I just think as far as mechanics of the team, I just think more than anything, the focus and the attention to detail raises up when one of those guys are out. I would, if I had to say anything, it would just be that. You would think you're supposed to have that focus all the time, but it's just something about when someone's out. You kind of look to do more in different ways. So, I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with. I don't think it's anything from a schematic standpoint that they're doing.
So I took it a step further, too. So in games, just in general this year, in games that Joel's missed, we're 9-4. In games that Harden's missed, we're 11-6. In games Maxey's missed, we're 13-6. And even without Tobias, we're 4-1. So I didn't look to see what games overlap because I think a few of those did overlap. So some of those wins, some of those losses were when multiple guys were out, which is still impressive, right? Yeah. I'm with you on that. I don't know. I part of it, to oversimplify, I think Doc's also pretty good at game planning a shorthanded team. He did it really well with the Clippers a few years back. Whenever they were missing guys for long periods of time, they were pulling out wins. They were always competitive against when they were overmatched. I don't know if that's when he shines, but he does a really good job of coaching an overmatched team as far as who's on the floor.
It could be a sign of a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a sign of a good team that, when things don't go your way, you're still able to win games.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it could be any more than that. I just think it's basically what we talked about. I don't think you can pinpoint one thing in particular. Are you defending well or defending better in those situations?
I say the games without Harden or Maxey would make a little more sense because they're not our best defenders. But the ones without Embiid,
I mean, then that's that's just like saying if they're not our defenders, then we shouldn't score as much.
Yes.
But we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah, it's the Embiid out of most of those Embiid's numbers surprised me because he is our defensive anchor, right? But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, definitely speaks to our depth just overall. I mean, like I know sometimes we talk about not getting much from our bench, but like when our guys are out, the guys on the bench they step up, and so like that's just it's interesting.
It's so strange.
I guess more minutes. You're giving these guys more minutes, whereas Harden and Max are there. These guys aren't getting as much touches or much playing time. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to talk about a little bit, somebody on our bench, a guy who's actually going up against Thybulle tonight in the Thybulle, as we talked about. But
Thybulle, yeah.
Jalen McDaniels, a guy that people went from like hating that trade, and now everyone wants him to start in our starting five. It's funny how the Sixers fan base just kind of like goes. And
I mean, that's a matter of days that you and your people are suggesting this. Last time we talked, you and your people suggested that the trade, we lost the trade.
Yes.
This time we talk, y'all talking about he should be a starter. What are you talking about?
Makes no sense.
People are I don't know, ridiculous. On that topic,
I know that we haven't had any games, so they just really don't know what to talk about.
The topic the other day, though, I said I still like that trade for us, so I didn't flip flop.
It's not really much you, Teja. It's a lot of these fans that like say, "Oh, fire Doc," and the next day, "Oh, actually, Doc's actually all right. Let's keep him around a little bit," and then back to fire Doc when we lose a game. But like, I
understand that from a coaching standpoint. That's not new.
Yeah.
I'm just saying from a player's point. This is we just spoke a couple of days ago.
I know. People are reactionary, man.
We played one game since then.
Thybulle has a 4 of 6 game from 3, and they wish
he played one game since that day. And you all went from he shouldn't have got traded here to now he should be starting in front of Tobias. Man, come on, man. What are you and your guys talking about, Marcus? What are y'all talking about?
I don't know.
Where y'all get this stuff from?
Hey, I'm
convinced you and your people just say stuff just to throw it out there and get a reaction. I'm convinced that's what you do.
I honestly, when I see there's
a lot of truth to that.
I think that's. I mean, we kind of talked about like the hyperbolic bullshit that we see on like the hot take shows, but like I think fans contribute to that stuff too. I mean, a lot of the trending Twitter topics. That's why these hot take shows get some of the stuff. They see the trending stuff that's going on by fan bases. But what do you think of that? Obviously, we talked about it wasn't a good trade for us the other day. But like, what do you think about the potential? I don't think it's potential, but of Jalen McDaniels starting over Tobias, or at least the fan hoopla behind that.
I don't. Are we so? Has Tobias started this whole season?
Yeah,
he started the whole season, right?
Yeah.
We just had a conversation about us possibly catching Boston, right? And now we're talking about changing the lineup.
Yep.
The last time we changed the lineup, how did that go?
Maxey, you mean?
Yes.
Well, it depends. Are you talking about?
No, I'm saying from individual. Do you think it helped Maxey?
Oh, individual? No, it did not.
Okay. Do you think?
We had a topic about that. Was it the bench start or was it the minutes though?
Yeah. So if he's not going to start, then so you're not going to start McDaniels and play him the same amount of minutes. You're putting him in the starting lineup for a reason.
He'll play a little more. He'll steal some minutes from Tucker and Harris.
If my question, first off, we're in a good place in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
A few games back from 2 games, whatever, back from second place, 4 games or so back from first place. And we're talking about changing the starting lineup. Makes 0 sense. Anyway, then you're talking about taking the guy out of the starting lineup at a position that so you and your people would rather take out Tobias and put him beside PJ instead of taking out PJ and putting him beside Tobias? That's my question to you and your people.
Yeah, it's a little weird because I did deep diving and we haven't really done that lineup that much.
I'm trying to think of what Marcus and his people think about. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they thinking? Like, when you just want to start a guys, is it that y'all get in that Teja mode where y'all just say Tobias make too much money and you just want to take
you brought it up, not me this time.
I said in the Teja mode.
You quoted me.
Since he makes so much money, you got to take him out. He's not playing good enough for the money. So let's put in the guy that doesn't make as much.
So I'll give you
like he's doing more.
Punishing him for making too much. You make too much. You need to go on the bench.
What are you guys talking about, man?
That's an expensive seat on that bench, by the way. Most expensive seat in the house. I will say this. I could see it being argued because there's no sample size for that lineup, like the McDaniels, Tucker, Maxey, Embiid, Harden. I think it's happened for like a minute. So it's not there's no sample size for that. But I can see it if you want to maximize and get Harris more shots, because he obviously is not getting it in that lineup. So if you want to get him in a groove, so when he finishes out the games with the starting lineup, he's got 14 or 16 points and he's shot the ball 10, 12 times at that point. Whereas now he hasn't touched the ball for like a quarter and a half, and what we want him to be involved with the last 4 minutes of the game. He's
take him out early, bring him back early.
What's that?
Take him out early, bring him back early.
And just stagger it that way.
There's ways to do it. It's been done before. This isn't new.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just reaching. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like Doc do it, it don't work, fire Doc. Yeah. Like it's just not making sense. Like if Doc did that without any of you all, without not you, Teja, without any of Marcus and his group mentioning it, if it wasn't their idea, and if it was Doc's idea, and they lost a couple games in a row, you guys would be at the arena with fire Doc songs.
They're there anyway.
Well, it'd be more.
No, but okay. But there is logic to it though, right? Like you're not saying try different things. You're just saying don't do the start bench thing. But you're saying stagger it differently to try to get him.
This is something we've always said about that. And I've always said it's going to be hard for Tobias to get shots with those other three guys. That was the off season. We talked about that.
But we didn't have a guy. I guess their counter to that is we didn't have a guy that could possibly make that a little easier of a transition than McDaniels. We had Thybulle before.
Well, isn't that what PJ is supposed to be doing?
Yeah, I think PJ's he's a good bridge to all that.
Well, I'm just saying, isn't that what PJ was supposed to be doing?
Making it easier to play without Tobias?
Or making it easier for us to move Tobias out of that group as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're going to move, you're going to move in.
But we couldn't do that before. Who would you put in the lineup instead? Melton, I guess? Go really small?
You put a shooter. I'm just saying that, like, if you put in McDaniels, so what is he now going to do? Spot up and shoot threes? What is he going to do? No. So is he a better shooter than Tobias?
No, not at all. No.
So what are we talking about?
We're talking about having more of a spark on the bench, more scoring off the bench, because the Maxey thing didn't work.
So the Maxey thing didn't work. So now we're going to assume the Tobias thing is going to work,
and a way for him to get more involved. I think he would get more shots,
but he can get more involved. It doesn't have to come from coming off the bench. You don't have to change the lineup to do that. You can change the rotation to do that.
Yes. Yeah.
But you don't need to change the starting lineup. You change the starting lineup, that's totally different.
But you do agree that
we talked about that during the offseason. That's not something that's new. Yeah. That's not something that's new. That's why his game isn't from a ability standpoint on the roller coaster. It's from the availability standpoint. He's on the
But
roller coaster.
he was pulling the trigger for the first half of the season. He's not doing that anymore.
Well, teams aren't necessarily leaving him open either, like they did.
He has a lot of pumps. He has a lot of pumps.
But he's a rhythm shooter. So he's not a spot up shooter. He's a guy that can make spot up shots. But that's not what he does. So bringing him off the bench, and then if he come off the bench, I guarantee you, if he comes off the bench, James, Joel, or Maxey, one of them are going to still be in the game.
Yeah.
And that means he's not going to be option number one.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a few games ago where I forgot what game it was.
It's not like if you guys think back, you probably don't remember how it went. How Detroit, when they won their championship and they made their run in the Eastern Conference, when I played, that they brought Corliss Williamson off the bench, and they went to him. He was the option. They went to him the whole time he was in there. That's not what we're going to do if Tobias is in the lineup or off the bench. We may go to him, but we're not going to force feed him. He's not going to be that number one option. It's not going to happen if James is out there. Definitely not going to happen if Joel's out there. And there's no way for those guys to play the amount of minutes that they're playing for him to come off the bench and then be showcased. It's not going to happen. They're not going to change the rhythm and the groove of the team right now. That's what you're doing. That's what you're asking to do.
Yeah.
So you change the rhythm, the groove of the team. It's not just messing with Tobias. It's messing with other guys too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Is it worth it, is the question, to get Tobias in more of a rhythm?
I mean, teams that can't make a change to get your fourth option touches. That's what we're asking you to do. I mean, that's what you're asking. That's what Marcus and his group is asking the Sixers to do. So just go around the NBA and tell me where that's done on a consistent basis.
Not many teams have a fourth option as good as Harris on their team, though.
Or do they not just have 1, 2, 3 as good as the Sixers?
There are a few teams we're one of 6 teams that have 3 20-point scorers.
Yes.
I saw that tweet earlier.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what's funny about that is, so someone posted that tweet. We're one of 6 teams. Let me find it. The combined record of the other 5 teams who have 3 20-point scorers in their lineup is 153 and 184, 31 games under 500.
All young guys that are putting up numbers on a team the season's going to be over in a month.
Yeah, so the other teams are Heat with Butler, Hero, Bam, Wizards, Beal, Porzingis, Kuzma, Hornets, Rozier, LaMelo, Oubre. It's crazy. That one surprised me. Warriors, Steph, Clay, Poole, and then Trailblazers, Dame, Simons, Grant.
No, that's not a losing team. Those aren't losing teams. See, those are teams just trying to win.
Yeah.
Interesting though, right? Like 31 games below 500 combined with those teams.
Yeah, I mean, Golden State's the one. I mean, they Golden State. You think of how many games Steph has missed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You look at Charlotte, how many games Ball has missed.
Yeah.
The Wizards one doesn't surprise me. I think if you look at all of those teams, the one similarity is they don't have a fourth option that's as, with the expectations because of his salary. Mm-hmm. That's what the Tobias it's the expectation because of his salary.
Yeah.
If his salary was PJ's, we wouldn't have the conversation.
Yeah.
It's kind of my point last week, though.
No, I'm just saying, but that's not saying he's overpaid. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That doesn't mean he's overpaid if you're not getting the opportunity. He's proven that he can do it. That's how he got the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now you're saying since he proved it and he got the money, that now because he can't do it anymore, it's not because he can't.
And that's why putting him in an opportunity to be able
It's
to.
not possible.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
It's too bad.
It's not a Doc Rivers thing. It's just not possible. There's not enough time in the game for it to happen. We can't sit up here and talk about Joel's he should be the MVP and MVP considerations, and James and 2 ball dominant guards, and then we're saying Tobias should be scoring 20 points a game. It's not going to happen.
So I looked at 2 sample size lineups that he's in, Tobias, that have either near even rating or plus rating. Harden, Maxey, Melton, Harris, Reed was plus 14 on the court. It's not a very big sample size. But I like that lineup. But you also still have, I guess,
Still a third option there.
He's still number 3 there, really. Unless Harden tries to go into more of a passive, but I don't think he would with that lineup because it needs his scoring. The other one would be Melton, Maxey, Tucker, Harris, Harrell, which is about even net. But I think if you put Reed in there over Harrell, you'll probably get better defensive ratings, so it'll probably be plus. But that's the other interesting one I saw too, which, pretty good lineup for him to maybe be a little more aggressive. That happened recently. What game was it where him and Maxey were on the floor and he was being really they're running the offense?
That's what I'm saying. So he is the type of player, and where he plays, that you have to run plays and sets for him.
Yes.
Because if he gets the ball and he gets a rebound, he brings it down and he plays one-on-one, it looks selfish. It looks off.
Yeah.
So, like I've always said, it can be done, but it has to be a point of emphasis. I've said that since last summer, since the offseason. You have to force feed it that for him to – and it's something that maybe they should do or they could do more, but that's how you have to play with him.
Yeah.
Not that I want to get back into this conversation again, but this less of counting money and more of finding someone to fill that role who could also distribute money elsewhere was my point, is that he's getting paid a lot to not be able to showcase it. That was kind of my point last week.
But that's because of the team changed.
No. It's not.
I'm just saying that I understand what you're saying.
No fault of
What
it.
I'm saying is the dynamics of the team changed when he got paid because you had Ben Simmons and not James Harden.
Exactly. Yes.
So he was asked to do more offensively with Ben Simmons.
And Maxey was surprised.
And he was a young guy that was young. I don't even know if he was there when Tobias got paid. He might have been.
No.
I'm just saying. So all of those dynamics changed. So you go get those 2 guys. That's what I'm saying. It changed.
Yeah.
It changed. So, okay.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
What you want me to do?
By any means. But for the cards we have currently, all I was saying last week, just to go back to that, not without getting too deep into that, because we did a lot, was just to say, like, it's if we're not going to tinker with it and try to get him more involved in a different lineup that suits him, then, we're going to have a discussion in the next couple of months about it's time to go. But, for now.
Look, the way he plays, as far as his style and where he's at in the rotation, it's not surprising. We all know that guys like that in that situation, their last year of their deals, they become valuable.
Yeah.
We know that. I'm sure Tobias and his agent knows it.
Yep.
So that's where it's headed.
Yeah.
It's happened almost yearly in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like almost every team has been in this situation. So,
he's dealing with this too on his own team, who I compared it to last week and brought it up. John Collins, his shots are way down. His minutes are down. He's not as involved. Except
what did they do this past summer?
DeJounte Murray.
They brought in another ball dominant guy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man.
And I could swallow it easier if he was making John Collins money. So,
yeah, but
he's not.
Like I said, he got his money when those guys weren't there.
Yeah. Totally.
And for the record, that this is something I saw on Twitter. This is my thoughts. This is just a question I want to pose.
You saw it. So there's people you follow? That would be you and your people.
I will say the one thing that a lot of people who wanted to come to this idea, right, the idea of doing this was we tried it with Maxey and it worked out. We worked out because when we brought him back, he had the confidence again. Maybe we do it with Tobias, we get his confidence back, and then bring him back to the starting.
Yeah, I don't think going Maxey was lacking confidence. He was lacking,
playing
opportunity.
time. Yeah, minutes. Yeah.
I just think, I'm forget benching. I just staggering them might be better though. I just want him to get
look. I
want Harris to get more of a groove.
Like I told you all before, when they took Maxey out the lineup, and I said they can shape it however they want to shape it. They can say whatever they want to say. It's a demotion.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Harris
I said it then, and it was even more evident when it happened.
Yeah, Harris would definitely see it.
It would be the same thing for Tobias.
Might even be worse
because they were playing less.
Yeah, because he's been.
There's no other way to shake it, and that
elder statesman of
changes
the team,
the dynamic of your team.
Yeah, and he's not a kid on a rookie deal either. He's like
that changes the dynamic of your team.
You paid me to be a big part of this. I've been,
and you decided to take me out. Yes,
it'd be really bad.
So I made sacrifices to my game for the team, and what I get from it is you blaming me and taking me out the lineup.
Yeah. And like Eric said to start this topic, I think a lot of Sixers fans want something to talk about. We're 3 seed right now. We're one of the hottest teams in the league right now. So this last thing we're thinking about is making a lineup change. I like what McDaniels is showing us, giving us that energy off the bench. So continue.
And then he can keep doing that for us.
Yeah.
And it'll be maybe it'll be a game where he's doing it and his minutes go up.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to start to play more.
Yeah. I feel like the whole idea of starting is such an elementary term. Oh, put him in the starting line. He looks good.
It matters. That's why when Maxey went out the starting lineup, you all thought it wasn't a big deal, and I'm like, yes, it is. It's a big deal.
All right. Well, now we're gonna get into game picks to end the show here. So tonight, Friday night, is our 76ers are hosting the Portland Trailblazers in what we're calling the Thybulle. Thybulle comes back to Philadelphia. Sixers are currently a 9.5-point favorite, and we lead the season series. We've only played them once, and we won 105-95 in January. So who do you guys have tonight in this game?
Man, we're going to win. I guess, shouldn't be too confident because every time I like this, we do the opposite. No, I think we'll get them. I mean, Portland is Dame is hot. I mean, they can beat you, obviously. I just think we're a tough matchup for them. And I think we're home, and we need to win these home games. Like that big road trip, we got to win at home and have a few days off. So I'm good. I got us winning the cover.
So we started out, it opened at 8.5, and there's 79% of money on the Blazers, and it's gone to 9.5.
Wow.
So I think based on that and us finally being home, there's no place like home. I think we kill them. I think we beat him bad.
Just because you're the Thybulle guy on this show, what kind of game do you think Thybulle will have?
Yeah, let's talk about Thybulle. I'm going to say 2 of 6 from 3, 8 points.
8 points.
8 points.
He'll get double figures.
That's true. He's playing like 36 minutes.
He'll play a lot. Yeah,
he's playing a lot, and he's going to want to score. Over or under 50% shooting for the game.
Say it again.
Over or under 50% shooting for the game. Not 3 overall field goal percentage.
Under. He'll be under.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He may be in 40s because he may get some clean layups or clean off his rebound, whatever.
Yeah.
Looks, but yeah, they will emphasize getting him some touches, and he may even try to post up Maxey or something. I don't know, just some He
Good.
may do if he get a matchup.
Do you think we'll see McDaniels on Thybulle at any point in this game?
Ooh.
Possible.
Yeah.
Possible.
Be a waste. I put Niang on Thybulle at this point.
I mean, it kind of depends who they have in the game and who we have in the game, though.
Yeah.
You're right. You had it right though at first. I'd put Maxey on him maybe.
Yeah, I
Or
mean, you can do that
Harden.
early on. You can put him on there and hide him, or maybe even James on him. Well, it kind of depends on. I mean, I think you got to put James on him because Maxey's going to have to guard Lillard to start the game. I mean, who else we going to put on Lillard?
Yep, it's true.
So James will probably be on him. James will give him some looks. James will give him some looks at least. See if he's gonna make a few. Before James will definitely do that.
Yeah. And then DeAnthony Melton subbing in will guard. I assume Melton will probably get some Lillard minutes tonight too.
Yes. When he comes in, yes.
That's the best that's actually the best matchup. Well.
Yeah. So I mean they may bring him in early for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
There was an article that Keith Pompey of the Inquirer posted today. I guess he did an interview with Thybulle. Thybulle said it's been really nice to feel wanted. In the article he quoted was saying, for me specifically, I feel like there was a lot more fear-based play in Philadelphia as opposed to what I'm doing here in Portland. So essentially he's playing free there because there's really no expectations there, whereas we do have expectations. Is that what that means to you?
Fear isn't necessary. I don't think that's the right word. But it happens with a lot of guys, especially younger guys. It's like you're afraid to make a mistake. Your mistakes are magnified more than maybe the other guy. That goes on around the league. A starter has, quote unquote, a longer leash than a reserve. A star player or a superstar player has a longer leash than a starter. That's not new. That's not new. So I understand what he's trying to say. I don't think fear is necessarily the right word, but I do think that once he kind of went into the situation where he was playing, and then the thing with Toronto happened, I think it became, and then after the thing with Toronto happened, the extension talks happened. And then once that kind of happened, then the training camp, and he wasn't in the rotation. So I think it was a combination of things that kind of built up to that point. I don't think it was just necessarily the fear of getting taken out the game. I think it was the fear, the awareness of, look, if I do anything wrong or if it's not going right, I'm getting taken out.
Fear of missing.
Say it again.
Fear of missing.
Well, I mean, a lot of it, but that's the thing about being a reserve. It's not necessarily always about him individually. The team goes on the run, you can come out. And he didn't do anything wrong. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
A team goes on the run, the reserves are in there. You made your one shot. He hits a three, but the team goes on the run. Guess what? Everybody's coming out.
Yeah.
So I've seen that happen. And I've seen that happen with a top player, and everybody came out except for the top player. You know what I'm saying? So you have that situation, then you don't have here's the one thing he will not say publicly, but I'll say it. He did not feel like he had the confidence of management and the locker room behind him. And that's his right. And the other guys may feel differently. They may feel like they did. But saying fear of whatever fear, he does not feel like he had the backing of anyone.
Green light.
For him to not even, I don't even think it's about shooting as much as it is about playing, being productive, being confident in your playing. If you feel like you are supported, then you'll have that. You won't have that fear if you feel like you're supported.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's not us, like odd or surprise in professional sports.
Yeah.
You're a professional. You're the CEO of your company. People come in and make deals and agreements with you as the CEO of your company. You make deals, and then they can change their mind and go a different direction for their product.
Yep.
That's what happens.
Yes, the reality.
So what he's saying is true in this reality. It does happen, but he's not alone. And there's also guys that come along in the same circumstances and same situations and rise above it. Just like he's doing in Portland.
Does the expectation of winning in championships and the pressure of a city to win also play a factor?
Yes.
Because Ben Simmons
playing in Philly
about the same thing.
and playing in Portland for some guys is different. But it's expectations in Portland too. Yep. It's expectations there. But I think at the end of the day, it was accumulation of things that happened. Not just he couldn't make a three. Like I said, it was always issues with him not being a three-point shooter. Teja would tell us that long ago. So that issue was. I'm not saying that jokingly. I'm just saying like Teja would. No. His whole thing was if he can hit one a game. So that expectation and that was always there.
Yeah.
So then you get into the Toronto thing. That's two. Then you get into he didn't get an extension. That's three.
Yep.
Then you get into he's not in the rotation. That's four. That's basically all within 6 months.
Yep.
And then you're a free agent. The writing was on the wall. We knew it.
Yeah.
So let him go and do what he's capable of doing.
It's interesting because Ben Simmons alluded to the same thing, like saying he wished he was drafted by something like this. Wish he was drafted by a team with no expectations. He would have been a lot more free and played better, but he came into a place that already wanted to win and we were winning, so he couldn't do certain things and try certain things.
We were winning when we got Ben? It was the number one pick, right?
No, but the expectation, well, he missed a year, remember? So when he finally started playing, we were ready to start making moves. It was like, all right, let's go now.
Oh, I thought that's what you would want in the league.
That's what I always said. I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
Wouldn't you want to win? I didn't see the quote, so I don't really understand that. So yeah,
he said something about like usually when you're a number one pick, you get selected to a bad team, so you can kind of feel yourself and kind of get like used to the game. Whereas here, when he started finally playing the following season after hurting himself, the expectation and all of that was already there with like, all right, like it's time to start winning games type thing. Which I was like, really? Because don't you want? I mean, isn't that the point of winning and playing? I don't know. I thought it was.
Yeah. Well, that's Jock Vaughn's problem now.
Yeah.
Okay, so final.
His first year, we were third in the East, and that was the year we lost to the Celtics in the second round.
Oh, the Bellinelli shot. Yeah. Scary Terry.
Oof. The expectations were there. We weren't championship yet, but winning was a part of the story for sure.
We grew fast.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, last topic, game Sunday. It's the last game of the season series with the Washington Wizards. We're hosting the Wizards Sunday. They actually lead the season series 2-1 on us. Who do you guys have in the finale of our season series with the Washington Wizards?
We'll win it. I think it'll be a close game, but we'll pull it out.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see the spread come game time and who's out. But if we have anyone that's out, hopefully not. I think it'll be a close one. I think we'll win by like 3-5.
Yeah, they play us pretty good whenever we play them.
They do.
That's always been a team that's for years has always played us tight. No matter how bad we were, how bad they were, it was always a tight game. I know it's just
annoying.
Yeah,
feels like a NFL division game almost.
Yeah. Maybe
no matter how good you are, how bad they are, or vice versa, or who's in, who's out, it's just going to be a tight game.
Yeah, maybe distance wise, being so close to each other, has that kind component, the division component. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that does it for us. We'll see you guys Tuesday, and hopefully we go undefeated this weekend. So,
All right, take it easy.
enjoy conference championship weekend.
Cross fingers. Later, guys.
You guys.